I don't know if you've heard, but I found an offer that might never fail. And in this video, I'm going to first show you guys proof that it actually works. Then I'm going to introduce to you what this offer is. And lastly, I'm going to give you guys step-by-step process so you can follow along this video and build out your own offer following this framework with me. So let's get into it. We have Diego right here, who was stuck servicing free trial clients in the interior design niche, implemented this new offer and collected a $4,000 upfront payment with it. Or Jason Park, who is able to leverage their cold email services to do 25% rev shares on big companies. Or Christian Rodriguez, who was able to collect $7,600 in just 2 days after going from, selling $1,000 setup fees by implementing this offer. Or with one of my old offers that I was running, where I was able to do $20,000 days by implementing this exact structure. Or we got Bilbo Swaggins here on Discord. He doesn't like to reveal his name, but he implemented this and booked a $23,000 job. Mashari, he was able to collect $9,000 in a single day in the plumbing niche just by following this offer. Or Eddie here, who's also in a similar type of niche and was able to collect $6,800 PIF as his first client by following this offer. So let's get into how we actually build these offers. So essentially, the first part of it is to start with who we are targeting, because let's say I am in the need for a fitness program, right? I'm a 23-year-old male, and obviously I want to be in the best shape I possibly can. I would probably not be interested in a fitness program. I would have maybe a little bit of interest in a fitness program for men, maybe a little bit more interest in a fitness program for young men. But if you came to me and said, hey, I have a fitness program for 20 to 30-year-old men that want to add 10 pounds of muscle in the next 6 months, I would be the most interested. I would have the highest perception of value towards that offer, even if the actual program was the same as the original one. But just because I got so specific with who I'm targeting, it dramatically increased the perception of value. And that's the first thing that we want to do here when we're creating our offers by following this framework. So before you even think about crafting your offer, you need to know exactly who you're going to target. If you've already worked with clients in the past and have got case studies, this part will be easy for you. However, if you have no idea where to start or you have no previous results, you're just going to need to start with some market research to discover your ideal customer profile. Now, figuring out who you're going to target goes way deeper than just software companies, roofers, agency owners, plumbers. You have to drill down as far as you can to find out everything about your ideal client. Now, side note, it is really important, as I was just saying earlier, to choose just one type of person to work with rather than having multiple. Not only is it easier to craft your offer for one person, but you don't have to worry about making your offer apply to various types of people that could be experiencing different pain points. So whenever we create offer for our clients, we ask them a set of questions about their ideal customer profile. First of all, what niche do you work with? Like, what is the general niche that you're working in, the general industry? What kind of person do you serve within that niche, right? Like, is it the CEO? Is it the marketing manager? Or what level of, like, what type of company they have? Do they have, are they doing 10 jobs a month? Are they doing 20 jobs a month? Getting real specific about what kind of person or what kind of company you're serving within that niche. What services do they offer? What services are they looking to offer? All of those kind of things. What are the problems that your niche is facing that you solve? So I've talked about this in some of my past videos, right? At every different stage of a company, they go through different problems. And typically it's like, I don't know how to start the company. Then it's like, I don't know how to get clients. Then it's, I don't know how to scale. Then it's, I don't know how to manage everything. Then it's, I don't know how to exit, right? So identifying, okay, companies at the stage that I would like to target, they're at this stage where maybe they don't know how to manage, right? So then we have to look at our offers like, oh, maybe we lead with a front end type of recruitment offer, or maybe they're a little bit lower than that when they don't know how to scale. Then it's like, okay, we can lead into with a scaling type offer, right? But every single stage that company goes through in their growth trajectory, they're going to be facing different problems. And that's the first thing that we want to start with. What have they tried in the past? Like, what have they tried? Facebook ads? Like, what other things are they currently doing? What is their current and desired situation? And what are their current beliefs about your service? So for an offer to be good, it needs to resonate extremely well with the market you are targeting. So it's essential that you answer these questions with as much detail as possible. If we look at our example of the marketing agency targeting software companies, instead of just saying like, oh, we work with software companies who want to add 100K per month, because every software company that isn't at 100K a month wants to get to 100K a month. Doesn't matter if they're in stage 1, stage 2, or it's just an idea from some kid in his mother's basement, right? But which of those do you want to work with? Which of those is your service best for, right? And we can't have this fear of like, oh, well, I want to work with everybody because I just need clients right now, right? Well, it's going to be harder to get clients when we're trying to appeal to everybody, as opposed if we just laser target one individual, right? So instead of just saying the 100K per month, we could say something like, we work with B2B enterprise software owners who are at the tipping point of their company. They've received a round of funding that has allowed them to build the foundations of their company, create a product that the industry needs, and have a team around them that enables them to work on the business rather than in it. They're generating enough revenue to cover expenses, but don't know how to effectively bring in high ticket deals that will take the business to the 100K per month mark. That is how specific that we want to be. Okay, so once we get through that, we need to get into the part of making an irresistible offer. Now, the old way of standing out with your offer was to follow Alex Hormozi's approach. Make an offer so good that they can't say no. Your offer should keep them up at night. But the problem with this is that everyone has heard it before, they've been burned before, and they don't believe you when you say it. When you go onto Instagram, what do you see? Literally every third piece of content that you go through is somebody making a crazy guarantee with a crazy refund guaranteeing some crazy bullshit, right? Nobody believes it anymore, right? That worked a couple years ago, but it doesn't work today. So the new way to stand out with your offer is to be realistic. And here's what we do. We set the client's dream outcome as the target of our relationship, not the guarantee, i.e. the target that I have for you and me to work together for the next 90 days, 30 days, whatever the case may be, is $30,000. Then we establish the foundation of rev share earnings by determining what percentage of profit/revenue we want to earn. Let's say in this case, it's 15%. Then we take the target and times it by your rev share percentage till you get your initial fee. 30,000 times 15% equals approximately $5,000. Then you establish the fact that once you've added your target plus $1 to their business, you begin taking rev share earnings, i.e. after we make $30,001, we take 15% of additional attributed revenue. Then, instead of making some crazy guarantee, you only guarantee that they will walk away from this engagement in a better spot than they arrived with a refund the difference clause. This means best case, we smashed our target. Worst case, you get all the systems and it doesn't cost them $1. And that's the simplified version of the Marketing HoldCo front end offer. Next, we'll show you how to actually create the offer. So the idea of this is setting up a ethical and proper foundation with your client, because it costs way more money to acquire a new client than it does to keep an old one. And the problem with SMMA is there's this upward pressure on the ability to create outrageous offers in order to try and win over clients, right? But the problem with that is the more outrageous of an offer you make, the shittier foundation that you have with your client and the more likely that they are to churn. And that's why most clients churn after 2 to 3 months. Right? But if you set foundations from an ethical percentage of like, hey, we're both in this together. Here's our target. I don't want to work with you unless you're dialed to hit this target. I'm going to assume the risk that you're at least profitable. You're going to, and you have a mutual risk, right? You set a good foundation. So when you go in there, you blow it out of the water, you can continue to keep working with that client for months and months to come. So creating the outcome of your offer. Now, the whole reason somebody will buy into your offer is because the outcome that they receive from it. They want to bridge the gap between point A and point B. However, the outcome of your service is not always the prospect's desired situation, although you may market it that way. Your outcome should be focused on solving one or more problems that contribute to their overall desired outcome. However, these are just things that you deliver, not necessarily what your niche wants. So let's break down exactly how you can turn the things that you deliver into an outcome for your offer. Again, when we do this, these are the questions that we ask our clients. What is the big claim that you can make to your prospect? How can we make this numbers based? Where will somebody be after you solve their problem? Why is it important that you achieve this dream outcome? And how does this outcome move them closer to their desired situation? You'll notice that when you answer these questions that things will overlap, especially if the outcome of your service is the prospect's desired outcome, and that is to be expected. This points out the most important things for you to focus on in your offer. So let's look at our example again. We might say, we ensure software companies never have to worry about where their next customer is going to come from by predictably bringing 50 new customers per month. We want to be very clear with what it is we are offering and what situation the prospect will be in after with working you. And we want to factor in both the emotional situation that they'll be in and the logical situation that they'll be in, because people buy with emotion and they justify with logic, right? Do people really care if they get 49 or 52 or 46 customers per month? No, they don't. But they do care about relieving this weight of emotion off of their shoulders. And so that's really what we want to lead into when we're going through and creating the outcome of our offer. Now we got into creating a method. So at first, this step might seem a bit pointless, but it's going to be key in step 4, which is all about creating our unique mechanism. So what we're going to do is we're going to list out everything that you need to do for a client in order to get results. If you're running a done with you service, then you'll also need to list the things that the client will need to do. So for example, here's a list of what we do at our agency, Catalyst Holdings. So before we do anything, we create an offer. And now what we actually do is we do done for you offer creation. So whenever somebody begins to work with Catalyst, I jump on to call for them for 1, 2, however long it takes. Sometimes it's over 2 hours, and I just go and I don't let them talk. I just have them answer a couple of questions that I have. I do the market research and I build their offer for them, right? Because I know that's a high leverage, very high leverage part of building a business, and I don't want them to screw that up. So in that case, I will build the offer for them. But now that my client has an offer, I need to get people in front of their offer. So this is when we set up cold email for them, we set up cold calling for them, and we even set up paid ads for them as well. So we can get a whole bunch of eyeballs and a whole bunch of attention to this new Grand Slam offer that we've made for them. Now that we have people in front of our offer, they need to be educated on what the company does, right? If we just, run ads to a generic offer, to a sales page, like, it's going to be hard to close those people, because the people are going to be showing up to the call. If they do show up to the call and they don't know who they are, they don't like them, they don't trust them, right? So we overcome that to make it easier to sell these people by educating them, by creating pieces of content, by setting up a website and social proof, and doing all those things as well. Now that we have an inflow of, the offer being made, we have an inflow of appointments coming in, we have people being educated on that, we need to manage all this so we don't, it doesn't go to shit when we begin to scale, right? So that's when we build a CRM and set up project management templates for our clients as well too. Now that we have sales calls booked, we just need to close them now, right? So at this point, we'll either place closers for our clients as well, or if they're not at about 30K a month yet, we'll go in there, we'll provide them a whole bunch of sales training that if they're still the founder, they can use to get their first couple deals in the past, or if they have their own closer, they can just put their closer through our sales training, have them fully trained up on the same process that we've used to close over $10 million online. But now that we've closed clients, we needed to service them. So we have 2 ways of solving this problem for our clients. Number one is we just let them use our own marketing team for them. Our team of in-house marketers has generated over $40 million for our clients. Our Catalyst partners are able to use that team to service their clients. Or if they already have an existing team, we give them CRM snapshots, all the service delivery training, and all the media buying team training that they can run their team through to be able to deliver excellent results for their clients. And now that we have some money in, we reinvest that into paid ads if we didn't do that off the bat, where we build out landing pages, we write the scripts, we write the copy, we do everything in order to take this company to the next level. Now, one of the things that I want to be very clear about with this, the reason that we do all this is because it's like, if we just created an offer for you, you wouldn't be able to scale to 50K a month, and we wouldn't have damn near the amount of case studies and social proof that we have, right? If we just did cold call appointment setting for you, great. But if you have a bad offer and if you don't have any of this, you're not going to make money, right? So one of the things that we do is we make sure that we solve every single problem that we need to solve in order to take an agency from 5 to 20-ish K a month to 50 to 100K per month. And in order to do that, we have to solve all these problems. It's not just a matter of setting up cold email and that's going to take you to 100K per month, because you need the offer, you need the sales process, you need the service delivery process, you need the paid ads to reinvest, you need to do all those things in order to make it work. Right? Now, the idea of this stage is to understand exactly how you deliver results to your clients so you can easily explain it to your prospects. This is how we'll structure the list for our clients. So how we go about making these lists from the scratch right off the bat. What are the main steps that you take to get results for your clients? How do each of these steps contribute to getting results? What are the most and least important steps to getting results? And can the least important steps be removed while still achieving the end result? Then we take the list and recreate it in the simplest way possible using language that a 5-year-old could understand. And we only include the most important steps in this process. So for example, what we have on our website is that we create an offer for your target audience. We set appointments and educate prospects automatically. We close deals, and we streamline operations and scale. Now, we also like this to take a step further by creating a unique name for our service to package everything together nicely. So if you were offering influencer marketing, you could call it a 3-step ambassador program. Even though you're offering the same as many other people, we come up with a unique mechanism to make it sound different. Now, enhancing the methodology. So in this stage, you're going to list out every reason why somebody would choose to work with you over one of your competitors other than offering a no-brainer guarantee. This is the best method to stand out from the crowd, because for a prospect to pull the trigger and buy your stuff, they need to have an immense amount of confidence in your ability to achieve results. And we do this by removing any possible obstacles or friction that could create any doubt in their mind about your service. The idea is to predict any objections that someone could have to your solution and reverse engineer them to come up with a solution. This is why they have no reason to believe what you're capable of. So many people screw this up. I think it's like, oh, the sales objections, like, oh, it's too much money. Like, that's not what I'm talking about here, right? I'm talking about like, let's break this down, right? So somebody says, okay, now we're going to invest money into paid ads. Well, I don't have time to make new ad creatives. Well, we can do all the scripting, writing, copywriting, all that kind of stuff. You just need to film them, right? If somebody's like, oh, well, I don't really have to pay. I don't want to have to pay, or I don't really have time to build out a website. Okay, well, we got that for you, right? If somebody's like, oh, I don't know how to create a VSL. Well, we have a step-by-step framework and we'll build it with you, right? Like every single objection that could people have about each individual part of the service, it's about tacking on additional done with you, done for you, or DIY solutions to make sure that anybody is able to pull this off, right? And that's why, for example, we have over 100 different things that we implement when people work with us, not because they need 100 different things, but what it is it's, about 10 to 12 core things, what a dozen core things. And then there's like another 90 subsequent things to remove as much effort and sacrifice as possible from our clients here at Catalyst Holdings. So once we've gone that, we want to go through and set a time frame, right? So people like to get things fast, and the faster you're able to deliver a result, the more valuable your offer seems to your prospect, and therefore the more likely that they are to buy. However, at this stage, a lot of marketers like to stick to the generic 90 or 180 days, but all this does is blend you in with everybody else and can make your offer less valuable than it actually is. So we follow this method to figure out exactly how long it takes to deliver results without being unrealistic, right? How long does it realistically take you to bring the results that you're promising to your clients? Why does it take this amount of time to deliver results? And how could you reduce the time it takes to see an outcome? Now, an example of how you could do this, right? Let's say, you're in the home improvement space and you offer, 10 jobs in the first 90 days, and you require that your client spends $3,000 a month on ad spend, right? And you charge $3,000 a month as well too. So it's like $6,000 a month total, and they get 10 jobs over 90 days, right? Well, if they doubled their ad spend, you could probably get 20 jobs, right? Because you can have more ad spend, you can have more data, and you're actually probably going to get better results spending $6,000 a month than you will spending $3,000 a month, right? Now, from the client's perspective, they can pay 33% more, right? They're only paying an extra 33% more because you have to factor in what you charge, the ad spend, right? They're only actually paying an additional 33% more to get double the results. And I don't know about you, but if I had the opportunity to pay 33% more and double my results, I would every single time, right? And that's exactly the same thought process that we want to go through as we're, finalizing and setting a time frame with our offer. So next thing here is creating a risk reversal. So the easiest way to instantly make your offer more valuable is by removing all the risk from your prospect and putting it on yourself. In short, we need to provide a guarantee. Yes, it can be scary offering a guarantee, but realistically, if you didn't get the results that you clients to your promise, you'd refund them anyway if you care about your reputation. So you're probably offering one without even saying so. Now, the idea of the guarantee is to make prospects feel like they're going to be in the same or better position than they are now, meaning that if everything went wrong and you weren't able to deliver the promised result, they wouldn't lose anything other than time. Now, unless you have a ridiculous amount of social proof and are regarded as the top player in the space, a guarantee is probably going to help you out, right? Now, in regards to the types of guarantees that I like to offer, my favorite one, as we've talked about here, is the partial refund based on performance, so we can set and establish those proper foundations moving forward. In addition to that, there's obviously the 100% money back guarantee. Continue working for free after X amount of time, pay on performance only. You pay them if they don't achieve the claim. Or you can even do a combination of multiple of these. But like I said, this is the one that I believe is the best, right? Now, creating a best and worst case scenario. So now we're going to create an emphasis around your guarantee so the prospect literally has no reason not to give you a go. We do this by creating a comparison between the best and worst case scenarios a prospect could experience by working with you. Now, the idea is that no matter what the outcome of working with you is, they'll still be in a better position than they were before. So first of all, best case scenario, right? Like, what is the prospect going to get out of working with you if everything goes to plan? For example, best case scenario, you had an extra 100 customers per month to your platform and reduce churn by at least 50% without having to put in any extra effort or hire any new team members. Then you want to also share, like, what's the worst case scenario, right? Like, what benefits will the prospect receive even if everything goes totally wrong with your service? Worst case scenario, you walk away with all of our internal systems for predictably running paid ads campaigns that can bring 50 to 100 customers per month on autopilot, along with having a new ICP, landing page, and creatives that your team can implement. This comparison can be really useful in sales calls or even as an angle in your marketing to get prospects to book a call. Now, last thing here is with positioning your service. Now, the idea of positioning your service is making it real, making it tangible, right? Instead of just saying like, hey, we run Facebook ads for e-com businesses. An example here on the document is we'll help you scale to over 10,000 customers with each one costing less than a bottle of water. The idea with positioning it is making it tangible, right? Instead of positioning yourself as an agency, hey, we're not an agency, we'll install the marketing system into your business, we'll manage it for 3 months, and then we'll, recruit somebody to come and work for you. Right. And what that really means is that, like, if they don't want to keep working with you after 3 months, you just keep their high level subscription open so they so they get lifetime access to these systems, right? Like, these are different ways that we can play with our positioning to make our offer stand out, and more importantly, to make it real. Like, if we're in the real estate space, right, instead of saying like, hey, we run Facebook ads, it's like, hey, those bus bench ads that you probably spend like $10,000 a year on, and you probably have no idea if they even convert. But what we're going to do is we're going to spend a fraction of that amount of money, and we're going to put it on people's phones, because when people are driving, when people are walking down the street, they're not looking at your bus bench ad, they're looking at your phone. So it's going to cost a fraction of the actual amount that you're spending right now, and you're going to get way more impressions, you're going to get way more eyeballs, and more importantly, you're going to get way more results. It's kind of like putting the bus bench ads on the phone. That's a way of repositioning a Facebook ad offer in the real estate space by taking something that is tangible to them. Last thing here is we're going to finalize the offer. So simply to finalize the offer, right, I like to use a formula such as we help target audience achieve outcome and time frame using our mechanism and guarantee. Now, this isn't necessarily like what you're going to say, like you're going to play with this, you're going to write headlines with this, you're going to test new angles with your cold email, your ads, like all that kind of stuff. But it is really good to have this is just like a solid foundation that you can always revisit when you're doing any of your marketing as your offer stands. Now, next thing here is the upfront pricing fee and the structure. So let me ask you a question. Would you rather pay $100 a month for a gym membership to try and get in shape, or $1,000 one time to get your dream body guaranteed, right? One time I was working with a gym. They were struggling to sell $99 gym memberships. Eventually I was able to convince them to sell a $600 one-time program for a 6-week transformation, and they sold out their gym in 3 days. They sold 24 people, made about $13K, and they did it in 3 days, right? And the reason why is because people will pay so much more for an actual outcome as opposed to a monthly retainer. See, you, me, everyone else on the planet will do it as well. And so instead of selling month to month, we capitalize on this effect, and we always group our first 3 months together and attach it to our client's dream outcome, which automatically increases our dream outcome, right? I want you to stop offering retainers. I want you to stop offering, $1,200 a month, $1,500 a month, right? If it's $1,500 a month, sell it for $4,500 one time for the first 3 months, and attach that $4,500 to the dream outcome that they're going to get, right? And in addition to that, if the client can't afford that, if the client can't pay that, what you would do in that case, maybe bump it up to $5K for or maybe keep it at $4,500 for 3 months, right? But if they want to split it up over 3 months, you let them negotiate you down, and you're like, okay, well, here's what I can do. I could do 1750 for 3 months if that's okay with you, right? And then they're going to be like, sure. And they're going to be like, damn, I negotiated you down, when really that was just more than your actual retainer even was, right? That is the whole process, and that's why it's very important. And so simply put, the upfront price should be equivalent to the projected rev share earnings that you have, right? So if you're aiming for 50K increase at 5%, 2,500. If at 10%, 5,000, and at 15%, 7,500. Now, the next thing is we want to charge per attributed revenue after we've made back that initial target revenue for our clients, because the true value with agencies is not selling the service, but what the service provides. For example, a content agency's value isn't, $2,000 a month for 4 videos. It's the personal brands it builds that could generate up to $200,000 per month. We want to capitalize this to get clients to pay 3 to 10x more than what they were paying before. So here's a couple of examples of clients that I've worked with in the past. We have gyms, right, with an average 30-day cash of $500-600. The average amount of clients that you can get with $100 a day of ad spend being 30 to 40, revenue being 15 to 20K. You take a 25% performance on that, you're making $3,750 to $5K per month. Home improvement, higher end example, right? With an average 30-day cash of 50K, the average number of clients you get with 100-day of ad spend being 1 to 2, revenue being 50 to 10K, or 50 to 100K, sorry. Performance, you do 5 to 10% on that. You're looking at $5,000 to $10,000 in performance. Or the micro homes, right? This is one of our portfolio companies, which an average 30-day cash of 150. The average amount of clients that we're able to get with $300 ad spend being 3 to 4, that's $450,000 to $600,000 of revenue. We take a 5% cut of that. That's $22,500 to $30,000 a month, which you also have to understand to your clients, it's the closest thing to getting money at a discount. They don't pay you anything up front. They get to make money. They get it to let it hit their bank account, and then they only give you back a fraction of it to keep the money-making engine going. Last thing here is you want to keep clients longer, because the problem with the old agency model is that clients churned when the value was provided at or below your retainer, right? If this is how much you cost, it's going to stay the same every single month with your retainer, but the amount of value that you're able to provide, so long as if it's above it, you're good. But the second it dips below it, they churn. And with the natural ups and downs of marketing, 4 months of good performance could all be gone after one bad month and your client churns. But with this model, the value that you provide is always higher than what you charge, right? Because you're working on that attributed revenue after the first 3 months, right? Your cost, what they pay you, is always going to be less. Now, the next thing here is, like, if on month 4 you have that bad month and you don't make a whole lot of money, right? That's okay, because it's going to be so much easier to just ramp things up next month with your existing client that you already have all the data, you already know what works, you already have tested ads, you already have all that kind of stuff, as opposed to trying to go out there and find a new client and having to restart from scratch. And the best part about this is that you can increase your lifetime value. You can increase how much clients are paying you each and every single month by just getting them to invest more into their own marketing and building their own brand, instead of having to go to them and having that tough conversation and asking them to pay you more. I don't know if you've ever gone to a client that's paying you $1,500 a month and tried to get them to pay you $3,000 a month without offering any additional services. It's damn near impossible, right? But going to a client and saying, hey, can we bump our ad spend up by 50% this month? If it's already working, pretty fucking easy to do, right? And as a result, you can increase the amount you getting paid by 50% just by doing that. And you can look at Ian Sinkovich here, totally normal 20-year-old guy who, after struggling to sign a retainer client for months, switched to this model, collected just under 10K in 1 month from his first client. And PS, at the time of this, Ian's now over $20,000 per month. Now you might be wondering, how could you sell this so easily? Well, look at this. It doesn't matter if you're an SMMA coaching consulting, the old offer looks like this. Pay me $3K plus $3K a month in ad spend, and I'll try and deliver your dream outcome. And here's why you should trust me. But now you get to make this offer. Pay us one time to hire your team and get set up, and never again. Never pay another agency again, because we will become your in-house team. We'll run your ads for free. 100% of your money goes to your marketing, and we'll also systemize the conversion of leads for you. And you only pay us a percentage of what I make for you after you've made it. I only make money if you do, so we're in this together. Now you might be wondering, I'm not sure if people in my space can afford this. Well, neither did I. But when I chose to start my high leverage marketing HoldCo, because I have the most knowledge in it, and because I know regularly it can produce multi-million-dollar companies, I chose to work with agency owners. But in addition to that, many agency owners are flat fucking broke, right? But despite that, we've been able to grow the company that we've been able to build, and we've been able to change hundreds of people's lives in the process. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is because if I can do that in my niche, so can your clients who have been in business for 8 years, making 6 to 7 figures. Right now, here's a couple examples of what we've been able to do when we've been able to pull this off. You can see the Stripe account screenshots, the amount of billables that we've been able to put through. This is a $47,000 invoice getting paid. Imagine that hitting your bank account. So the next steps that I have for you to do is to book a free one-on-one scaling call with our agency advisors. And what we'll do for you is we'll have them perfect and finalize your offer before you start advertising it. So if you want to do that, click here to find a time. Other than that, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you guys got 10x the value in return, and I'll see you guys in the next one.